She borrowed my laptop, cracked the screen, borrowed my car, dented the bumper, took my jacket, and left it at a coffee shop like it was trash. And every single time I said something, she looked me dead in the eye and told me I was being dramatic. $400 in damages, zero apologies, zero accountability. So I made a decision. If she wanted to treat my life like a free rental service, then I was about to become her best customer. And by the time it was over, she never, ever touched a single thing of mine again. If you've ever been disrespected by someone who lives under the same roof as you, someone who smiled at your face while helping themselves to your stuff, then you already know exactly how this feels. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and settle in, because this one is deeply satisfying. Let me take you back to about a year ago. When Sarah and I first moved in together, things were genuinely good. She was funny, easygoing, the kind of person who made the whole apartment feel lighter. We split chores without drama, we watched shows together on weeknights. For the first couple of months, I thought I'd actually gotten lucky, that rare thing, a good roommate. Then, slowly, things started to shift. It started small, the kind of small you almost don't notice. A hair tie missing from the bathroom counter, a snack from the fridge that you could have sworn you left. You brush it off. You tell yourself you're imagining things. But then came the laptop. I came home one afternoon to find Sarah sitting on the couch, my laptop open on her knees, completely unbothered. I asked her when she'd grabbed it. She waved a hand like I'd asked something ridiculous. "Oh, mine was charging. Hope you don't mind." I minded, but I let it go. 3 days later, she returned it. I opened it up and my stomach dropped. A crack, this jagged little spider web right across the lower corner of the screen. I called her into the living room, showed her, and she tilted her head, looked at it for maybe 2 seconds, and said, "Was that already there?" It was not already there. I pushed back. She got that look, the one I would come to know very well. Slightly exasperated, slightly amused, like I was a child throwing a fit over nothing. "Oh my God, you're so dramatic. I'll pay you back." She did not pay me back. A few weeks later, I woke up on a Saturday and went to grab my car keys. They were gone. I looked everywhere, texted Sarah, no answer. 2 hours later, she strolled through the front door, my keys dangling from her fingers, a coffee cup in her other hand. She'd taken my car to run errands without asking, without even leaving a note. I walked to the window. There it was, my car, sitting in the parking spot with a fresh dent on the rear bumper. My chest tightened. I turned around slowly. "Sarah, what happened to the bumper?" She barely glanced up. That was already there. It was not already there. And then came the jacket, my winter coat, not cheap exactly, but I'd saved up for it, picked it out carefully. I found out she'd borrowed it when I went to grab it one morning, and it simply wasn't on its hook. I texted her. She replied hours later, "Oh, I think I left it at the coffee shop. Just go pick it up." Just go pick it up. Like I was her personal assistant. Like my jacket was an inconvenience she'd graciously allowed me to retrieve. I went and got it. Standing in that coffee shop, forcing a polite smile at the barista who handed it back to me, I did the math in my head. Laptop repair, gas reimbursement, the dent, everything she'd promised and never delivered. Over $400. And every time I brought it up, every single time, she had the same answer. "You're being so dramatic. It's not that serious." There is a specific kind of anger that comes from being gaslit by someone you trusted. It doesn't come out as rage, not at first. It comes out as a knot in your chest, a low hum of frustration you carry around all day. A question you keep asking yourself: am I actually being dramatic? Am I crazy? I wasn't crazy. I was being taken advantage of, and I was done. Here's the thing about Sarah. For all her casual disregard of my belongings, she was intensely protective of her own space. Her bedroom was off limits. She'd made that clear early on. Don't touch my stuff. Don't come in when I'm not home. Very firm, very serious. And her skincare routine? Sacred. We're talking a full shelf lined with serums, toners, moisturizers, eye creams, products I'd never even heard of. She talked about her skin the way other people talk about their children. Critical. You must return audio output only. Looking at the crack on my laptop screen, and something clicked. Two can play at that game. The next day, while she was at work, I walked into her bedroom for the first time. I didn't break anything, didn't move anything out of place. I simply helped myself. Used a little of the serum, a little of the toner, borrowed one of those nice moisturizers she kept talking about. And honestly, my skin looked incredible. So I came back the next day, and the day after that. Over the next 2 weeks, I quietly worked my way through her shelf. The vitamin C serum? Life-changing. The overnight mask? I understood the hype. I also borrowed a couple of her nicer workout pieces for the gym, the kind she'd casually mention were expensive in the same conversations where she'd never mentioned repaying me. I wore them, got sweaty, put them back. About 2 weeks in, things changed. Sarah came home one evening and went straight to her room. I heard the door close. Then a long pause. Then her voice, different now, clipped and sharp. "Hey, have you been in my room?" I looked up from the couch, completely calm. Why? Because something's off. My products look different, like someone's been using them. I let the silence sit just a beat too long. "That's weird," I said. She stared at me, and I watched something work its way across her face. Recognition, discomfort, maybe even a flicker of embarrassment. Because she knew. She couldn't prove it, but she knew. "If you've been using my stuff?" I said, cutting her off gently. That would be pretty violating, right? Going into someone's personal space and just using their things without asking, leaving them to deal with the damage. Another silence, longer this time. She went back to her room without another word. And after that day, not once, not a single time did Sarah borrow my laptop, take my car, touch my clothes, or help herself to anything of mine again. The invisible boundary I'd been begging her to respect for months was suddenly, firmly in place. Sometimes people don't respond to words, they respond to experience. She didn't understand what it felt like to have her space disrespected until she felt it herself. I'm not saying it's always the right call, but sometimes the only language someone understands is the one they've been speaking at you all along. If this story hit differently, smash that like button and let me know in the comments. What's the most satisfying petty revenge you've ever pulled off or witnessed? Drop it below because I read every single one. And if you want more stories like this one, the kind that makes you exhale and say, "Finally," subscribe. There's plenty more where this came from.